Before we start reworking our CSS, let's get familiar with parts of the Dreamweaver interface that we will be using. If you look down here, you will see kind of a breadcrumb of the different parts. Say I highlight this, it will let me know I'm in a heading 3, which is inside content, which is inside this div container, which is inside our main body. So these little tags are going to be important. Also up here we will have a list of the files that are involved in this particular page. We have our source code and we have the CSS file. We will be clicking back and forth between these two and also between design, split, and code view. Most of the time I like to work in split view so I can see both. We also will be using this little globe here to preview our page in a browser. One other thing that's useful when working with the CSS is the CSS panel. If I highlight some text, I can go up to Window and CSS Styles, and I get my Styles panel, and this is going to tell me the rules that are connected with whatever I'm working on. If I click the pencil, I can go in and change the properties for that particular piece of information. There's actually two ways that we can change our CSS, and one is that way. Let's click here on our body and write some new rules for the body by going to our CSS styles and choosing current. And click the pencil. Now our body, I want to change the font family we use to this one right here, Lucidia, Sans, Unicode, etc. And I want my color of my text to be 333, which is just a little bit darker gray. And my font size, instead of a percentage, I'm going to go with pixels here, 11 point. And my line height, I'm just going to put to normal for right now. And if we say OK, we'll see that that very quickly made our site look a little bit different. We have a new font and smaller sized font. Now we could have also changed some properties on the body by going, I'm going to go to Code View and look at my CSS styles. Occasionally you'll get a white page that will scare you. Just take your blue bar here and scroll up and you will find what you are looking for. A nice thing about working with the CSS in Code View is you have numbers for whereabouts in the document. Sometimes that's handy to go back to. I want to add another property between the color and the font. It really doesn't matter where I add them, but this is going to be consistent with the handout that I gave you. We are going to align, center, and then put that. Now, when we go back to Design View and preview our page in Safari and hit refresh, it's going to be smaller and aligned to the center of the page. Now, one other thing that's different with our BankTrack site as opposed to this default layout is the width of this main container. So I'm going to go to my CSS styles, and again this current, click on the pencil, and what was 960 is the default width. We're going to make that 1060 pixels. Hit apply to see if we like it, and OK to set that. So we've made just a few little changes. Our page still does not look very much like the BankTrack page, but we will be getting there in the next tutorial.